Welcome to In Tune. I'm your co-host, Matt Rector, an aspiring luthier from Baltimore, Maryland.
And I'm your other co-host, Ethan Morset, a music producer and founder of Blue Haven Music based in Minnesota.
Our goal is to provide value to enterprising musicians, artists, and craftspeople by sharing our conversations and the lessons we've learned along the way.
If you like our content, help us out by following us and giving us a positive rating on whatever platform you listen to podcasts. Tune in for new episodes on the first and third Wednesday of each month. This is episode 54. That is my new voice. I'm going to talk like this the whole time.
It's very dramatic.
It is. It's super dramatic. I've been working on it. Anyway, we have yet another update episode so you can find out what is going on in the world of Matt Rector and Rector Guitars and Ethan Morset and Blue Haven Music. So, since I opened the episode, that means I get to ask the questions first. So, Matthew, what has been going on with Rector Guitars? And your life. I want to hear about your life, too. What a good start. Just a sigh.
My life is good. Can't really complain too much. It's that time of year where I get really busy with my 9-to-5 job. I work for a luxury jewelry and watch retailer. And, it's the holidays. And so I mostly do e-commerce stuff, but we have a lot of orders and sales around this time of year, obviously, for, the holidays. And so I'm heading into a really busy season. We're recording this, it's early, mid-November, kind of.
Yep.
Gosh, hard to believe that we're already sort of into the middle of November. But yeah, so getting pretty busy. And so that's consumes most of my life right now is work, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I do have a good job, and so I don't want to complain too much. In terms of Rector Guitars, I would say most recently I've sort of been stocking up on some materials, and I think I talked a little bit about that last time we recorded. I got some pretty cool materials, and I've just been doing a lot of the things that come before that are maybe not as exciting, but are necessary. So, let me see if I have an example available.
You mean like preparation, basically?
Yeah, I've been making a lot of little... Okay, hold on. Give me just a second. Let me grab something.
Yep.
All right, so this, which is kind of hard to see. It's actually... I would not say ooh about it, but this is called a shooting board. This is a more traditional style design of a shooting board.
Why is it called a shooting board? I don't see any bullet holes.
To shoot the edges and the ends of boards. Or, yeah. I made 2 of them, so there was one. And I have an identical one right here. This is the second one.
I see.
A lot of times when I make these types of things, I make a couple of them. And that's because I am a member of a makerspace. And so a lot of times I want to have these things that, both in my home workshop and there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I might make 2 of them, and then I can just keep one there and one here.
Sure.
But the purpose of this, it's kind of hard to explain, honestly, while holding it like this and holding this microphone.
Yeah.
Essentially, you know what? I should probably just do like a short little YouTube video or a post on Instagram about it where I can set up a tripod So
Right.
I'll be doing more of that in the future, but the idea is that you can see there's sort of two tracks. This is called the stage, like this is the stage, I guess, the main area where you put the piece of wood.
Okay.
This is the track, and your hand plane rides along this track, and that way you can get a perfectly square and flat edge. And so I think I've talked a little bit about how most guitar tops or bottoms are book matched,
Mm-hmm.
meaning they are like two pieces that are glued together. And so when you do that, it's really important that you have two perfectly parallel edges for when you glue them together.
Sure.
And so that's what this basically does is it gives you square parallel edges.
Gotcha.
Or it helps you to do that. In theory, you could do that freehand, but this just makes my life a little bit easier. And these are definitely a little bit long. Like your typical modern day shooting board is mostly used for end grain
Mm-hmm.
rather than edge grain. So these are a little bit different than normal. These are longer, and I did them that way so that in theory, if I was working on like a bigger guitar top or possibly like an even larger instrument like
Cello.
yeah, or something like that, and I wanted to do a longer edge, that I would have enough space to accommodate that on this.
Sure.
So that's something that I made recently. Let's see. Got a couple other ones. I made some plate joining jigs, which are basically the next step from there. They are a platform that I use to clamp the two plates together when I do actually glue them together, and it keeps them like everything flat and parallel. And
That's
yeah,
when you're like
um,
gluing the top and the bottom to the like sides.
no, it's when I'm gluing the two pieces of the top together to form one plate.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, like, say for example, here is a piece of spruce. You can actually see this one already has
The
the
trace.
lines. Yeah, like, oh, there we go. I had it the wrong way. But that's what I mean by book match. Like, you open it up like a book. Because this would have been cut from the same board, and these two pieces would have been together. So when you open it like that, you get basically the grain was cut right next to each other, so you get a mirror image.
Sure.
But when you glue this together, this has to be perfectly parallel and square and flat. And this is really thin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a good joint here, I mean, the tension of the strings and everything, it will just come apart. So that's the idea with the shooting board, is that I can get a perfectly parallel edge. And then kind of the other jig I was talking about, that's the next step, is for actually gluing them together, and it sort of acts as a clamping jig that I can use to keep everything in alignment when I actually glue them together.
Sure.
So I built a couple of those. This is actually a traditional Spanish style plate joining jig.
Dude, that looks fancy.
This one I purchased.
It looks
I
like
did
it
not.
belongs on a ship.
Yeah, so the way that this one works is, this is so hard to explain like this. This is not ideal.
You just kind of like
But
roughly explain it or whatever.
yeah, basically the boards go in here. They're held on this black part, and they're held between there, and then the ropes go around it and the ropes help sort of tighten them together.
Sure.
And then you actually take these wedges like this.
Yep.
and you slide them under the ropes, and then you actually hammer them to like kind of wedge those in further. That causes the ropes to tighten up even more and then join the plates together. So
Gotcha.
I like this style, but whoops, but mine is this is really size only really works for me for guitars. This is much too big for like a ukulele,
Sure.
and so that's why I made the other
Jigs.
plate joining jigs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of stuff like that. I'll show one more here.
Matt, are you going to be like Ron Swanson one day and, build a really, really cool chair that becomes like the trend that everybody wants? Remember that episode?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I do identify with Ron Swanson's character in a lot of ways, and he geeks out one time over Christian Bexford, who's like a renowned woodworker. And one time, Abby and I were watching that episode, and he like gets really excited about Christian Bexford, and is like, "Oh, that's really cool." And I knew and she's like, "What? Who is that?" And that's pretty much the reaction of everyone else on the show is like, "What? Who is that?"
Yeah.
So,
That's funny.
that's someone that like geeking out over Christian Bexford is something I would do. But yeah, I actually lied. I have two more things to show.
Oh my gosh. You liar.
So this is the one of the plate joining jigs. And
Okay.
it's made of scrap MDF, and it looks really simple, right? It's basically just a flat board with a what I would call like a fence over here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've stacked up a couple bits of wood on the bottom. And the purpose of this is basically I take my two plates and they get loaded into here like this,
Mm-hmm.
sort of. Obviously, this would be flat on a bench, not upright against.
Unless
body,
you
but-
wanted to make it harder.
And then what I do is I take something like this, and this I put a little wax paper between these so that the glue doesn't stick. But
Sure.
this holds these two things nice and flat. So the reason that it has the stacks of wood at the bottom is so that the platform is raised off the workbench, and I can get clamps underneath the platform.
Okay.
So then I would clamp this in place so that these stay nice and flat.
Perfectly flat. Yep.
And this would go over here, and I would clamp this, but I would leave a little bit of space, and I would actually have wedges that go in here, and the wedges get driven so that they push, like this would get pushed in this way. So that
Interesting.
clamps this in place, so that these are nice and tight together and nice and flat. And the reason this is movable is because, a lot of times when you're working with really fancy woods that you'd use for instruments, I don't always have pieces that are perfectly square like this. So I might have something that's sort of shaped like a little bit different. And then I might want to move this into like this position so that the wedges can follow the edge of whatever's here.
Sure.
So I built a couple of those. That's one of the plate joining jigs. And I built this one as a smaller one that's meant specifically for ukuleles, so it's not very big as like compared to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see this is maybe what you were thinking of, and I think what a lot of people think of is like a body mold.
Sure.
So
Girl, look at that body.
yeah, you keep the instrument. I feel like nowadays it's a very niche reference to something from when we were.
Girl, look at that body. I work out.
Yeah.
I'm sexy and I know it. Okay. Now I've said the whole song.
Yeah. You didn't say the wiggle part though.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. That's what we needed. But yeah, that's a body mold. So that's kind of what I think you were thinking of when you were talking about the sides.
Yeah. Man, I know so little about woodworking. Like, I can't stress how little I know about woodworking. That's why I have you, though. So if I ever am doing something, I can just ask you.
I've gotten to the point where in my group of friends, I have become
The woodworking guy.
well, yeah, like I have a friend who actually just today they just moved into a new house and they're thinking about maybe redoing their bathroom and they're like, "Hey, how would I go about doing this?" And I get stuff like that a lot like now.
Sounds like you could be a contractor.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Matt, I bought this desk from IKEA that's made of particle board. Could you come assemble it for me?
If you can't assemble furniture from IKEA, then there's no hope for you.
Bro, there are some people that struggle with that. That's the sad part.
I mean, sometimes the directions can be a little hard to follow.
There are some people that are very intimidated, I think, by just like building anything. Even though they have instructions.
That is extremely discouraging for me to hear about. But
shouldn't be discouraging for you.
I suppose, but it makes me worry about
the human race.
Yeah. It is mildly upsetting to me to see so many people who lack.
Yeah, you heard it, listeners. Stop being stupid.
Like that. I'm not saying that. I just think that people having manual skills is important, and it's something that we are losing.
I mean, why would we need to be able to do that when we could just, find someone on our phone to do it for us?
This is going to be a whole nother episode.
I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun.
I'm having fun drinking.
Cheers to that. This is actually alcohol this time. It's not water. There's wine in here.
Wow. What type of wine are you drinking this evening, Ethan?
Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Ooh, we have a fancy boy.
It's red wine. It's healthy for you. Says ABC News.
It's healthy for you in moderation, but Ethan doesn't drink in moderation.
I've always been a firm believer in the more you have of something, the better.
The more the merrier. That's what
the
Ethan
more the
says.
money, the more money you have, the better. The more water you have, the better. The more sleep you have, the better. The more wine you have, the better.
You heard it here, guys. Ethan's motto for life. The more you have, the better.
You can quote me. I don't see how that could possibly go wrong.
I think that little clip is going to go in the. That's going to definitely be posted on social media for sure.
100%. I will happily give you that, and you can post it for us. I ain't ashamed. I'm the podcast alcoholic anyway, so what do I have to care about? My reputation's down the tubes. That will also go on the Instagram. Anyway, I am so sorry I interrupted what you were talking about.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. I feel like I've been doing a lot of collecting of materials, which has been fun for me. I like finding cool and nice pieces of wood.
Yeah.
I knew the second that came out of my mouth, you were gonna Say something weird.
That's what she said.
I mean, I even like, tapping on like I like to listen to like the resonance of, the things. That's kind of fun for me.
Yeah, you like to
But
tap wood. What? That's what you were saying. I'm just saying it in a different way.
I've got some awesome materials for building instruments recently, and as a woodworker, it's been exciting for me to see those materials. And
I bet that wood excites you.
I think any artist gets excited when they get, good materials.
Amen to that.
And they get to see the potential in, those materials. So I've been acquiring materials to build some instruments, and I've also just been doing kind of some of the boring stuff like making jigs to help me in my instrument making.
Well, sometimes the boring stuff is just what you got to do, to be productive. I mean, every profession I feel like has the boring stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I shared it. It's important to you see all of the I don't know, the glamorous polished shots on social media, but a lot of times you don't see the grind.
That's what we're here for. Is to show you all the terrible things about starting your own business. So that it's not just all,
We're trying to
sunshine and
discourage
rainbows.
people so that we have less competition.
That's exactly it. I mean, honestly, that is Matt, you are thinking like an entrepreneur. Discourage the competition.
Yeah.
A smart guy right there. I mean,
All
he
right,
kind of
well,
makes
that's
me want to
really-
quit.
Oh my God. Well, on that note, I think that's it for me and my updates. And next month will be interesting. I probably won't have a lot to discuss next month because I'm really busy right now. I probably won't have a ton of time to do a lot.
We could have a therapy session so you can just vent.
Yeah, that might be necessary. But anyway, Ethan, I think, has some pretty exciting updates. Last time we talked, you'd actually just gone to a conference, and this time you just went to another conference, if I'm understanding that correctly.
What?
So
Two
Ethan's been spending-
conferences?
Yeah, crazy. Ethan's been spending a lot of time in the big city. He's been out there in L.A., California, living
City
it
of
up.
Angels.
Yep.
It's
He's been.
Go ahead.
What have you been doing in California? What crazy shenanigans have you been up to?
Just I've just been tearing up the town and just wreaking havoc on Los Angeles and and throwing chairs through windows, just terrorizing Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh. This is incriminating.
No, it's been good. I went to another conference, and I have so many good things to share. It's gonna sound kind of braggy, but I'm not trying to brag. It's just exciting for me. So this last conference that I went to, it was just last weekend, and where to start? A lot of really great things happened at this conference, like more than the last conference. I really feel like the last conference that I went to set up for the success of this conference, because there were a lot of people that were at the last conference that were also at this conference, and there were a lot of the library people I met were at the last conference. They were at this conference as well. So I got this opportunity right away within about a month to follow up with these people in person again. Which I think was really good because, again, like a huge part of this is just being remembered, right? Like being on the radar of people who can actually do stuff with your music. So the fact that I got to follow up with them in such a short period of time, I think I feel like solidifies that a little bit. Um, but anyway, there was so like I'll just kind of go chronologically, but uh, I got there on Thursday, and I there was a library. I'll just re-explain really quick what a music library is. So music libraries accept they have a curated catalog of music. So by curated, it means not anybody can just submit their music. They have a brand to protect, so they only want music that protects their brand and uplifts their brand, right? So it's got to be good stuff. It's got to be stuff that fits within that. So curated. You can't just submit and expect that you're going to get music into it. Uh, TV shows go to music libraries for the music. And the reason is because music libraries have a huge catalog, so they have a lot to select from. Plus, music libraries have gone through the work to make sure that rights are cleared for those songs. If you go directly to a composer might not know what they're talking about, and there's no guarantees that they've done things like they have samples that are cleared and all those other things. Like it's safer to go to a music library because a music library has vetted the music already. So me as a composer, I'm trying to get my music into music libraries because that's where TV shows go to get their music. Anyway, now with that explanation, so there was a music library owner that I met at the last conference I went to, called PMC, Production Music Conference, and he was also at the Taxi Road Rally, which is the conference I just went to. And between that time frame, he had time to listen to my music, and he said, "Hey, Ethan, on Thursday, let's go out to lunch." So we went out to lunch, and he shared how his library works, which was kind of unique. And then he said, "We're interested in bringing you on to compose for our projects and stuff like that." So it means I don't have music in their catalog, but they're interested in me writing for their catalog now, which
Very exciting.
which is cool. And that happened before the conference even technically started. So that happened, and then the next day, I got by him got invited to this exclusive party at the
Oh my
conference.
gosh.
I know it sounds so snooty and stupid, but uh he invited me to it was like a celebration for the to celebrate all they've accomplished this year with their library. So it was only composers that have written for that library. And I haven't written for them, but he invited me because I'm going to start writing for them. So I of course came to that, and I walked into the room, and there's all these like heavy hitters like that. I'm like, they're like, these are people that are on panels like talking about how to write music. Like they're people that like are leaders in the community, and I'm
Mhm.
in the same room as them. And like I know on one hand that's not that big of a deal. On another hand, it puts me in the same room as a bunch of other people that are very successful. So I feel like at that point
I
in
mean,
time,
I would say that's pretty big deal in terms of networking.
um, I feel like it gave me some credibility, right?
Yeah.
Like if he's invited to this and he's like capable of being in this library, then like he's actually someone worth like keeping track of.
Hmm.
Um, so that was cool, but that wasn't the end of it. The next day, um, I got so they do these listening feedback panels where you can submit as many songs as you want. It's you have to pay to submit so that you don't submit like a million songs for free. Um, but you send your songs in, and at the rally, they call it a rally, which feels weird now. It's a conference, but at the conference, there's a 1 hour panel where they will basically just randomly select songs from that submission list, and they'll play them for everybody in the ballroom, which is a lot of people. and then there's four panelists at the front that are like music library owners, and in this case there was three music library owners and one like veteran composer, right?
Hmm.
Someone who's really good at composing and whatever. Um, so one of my songs got selected randomly, keep in mind, and so it got played in the ballroom, and like the feedback was like awesome. Like, so one of the library owners on the panel really liked it and wants to pick the track up. So like he wants to sign the track to his library. And then this is a library I've been trying to get into. So that was cool because it's like my break into it. Like now he knows what I can do.
Hmm.
Um, and he's like, and I want to hear more from you. And I was like, dang, like this is great. Um, and then I had a whole bunch of other people in the ballroom.
Which track was this?
I don't think you've I don't think you've heard it. I'll send it to you. It's called The Night Stalker's Dance. It sounds creepy, but it's really it so like the album is about it's like kind of like it's kind of like hip hop beats but with like African instruments added into it. So kind of think like Black Panther, like kind of the music from that show. Um that's kind of the
Okay.
vibe of the album. Um, and so it's really about like a lion, right? Like the Night Stalker's dance, like stalking its prey or whatever. But anyway, that one got played. Like the panelists received it super well. Like they obviously had some things that I could change, but overall it was very positively received, and someone wanted to pick it up. And
Hmm.
then and then the response from like the audience too is really good. Like I had people next to me being like, "Oh, that track's awesome," and da 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 da. And then I had people like afterwards like wanting to give me their business cards. Like so it was just a really cool like recognition moment, you know. Um it made me feel very like validated that like I'm on the right path. Um and then after that I had another panel where there was somebody that she actually listened to all the submissions and handpicked music to be played for the panel, and my track got picked again. So
Is it the
right,
same? Was it the same one?
no, a different track. And this one had my vocals in it too.
Mm.
Which I don't know if you know anything like you've probably heard yourself recorded for like and listened back to your voice. Nobody likes their own voice, or very few
Hmm.
people like their own voice. So I'm always like very hypercritical of my voice. But she had just like really positive things to say about the song, about my singing on the song, all that stuff. And like there were hundreds of submissions, and like one of my tracks got picked. So like it was really again really validating to like have that happen because like you know me like I tend to sell myself short more than I tend to oversell myself, so like just having that validation was just huge for me. um and then after that they had a random drawing for a 1 hour consultation with her, and my name got drawn randomly again. It's like
Oh,
what the
crazy.
hell. So it was just I did not expect any of that to happen. You know, I've been working hard at this for a while, and I don't really know how I stack up to other musicians. There's so many talented musicians at this thing, and any one of them could have had their several people other people had their musics, you know, selected and celebrated and got good feedback on. But it just felt really good to have that because like again, like getting positive feedback from other musicians is really big because they know they're trying to succeed and they know what they're talking about too. So it was just a really like I don't know, it was a fantastic experience for me. Um I don't know,
Yeah, that's really exciting stuff.
do you remember do you ever remember hearing the song Boston by Augustana on the radio back when we were in high school?
I don't. I would maybe recognize it if I heard it if it was popular, but I don't really.
It's like, you don't know me, you don't even care. Oh yeah, and she said you don't know me. Okay.
Oh no.
It was on the radio when we were in high school. Like mainstream radio. Anyway, the guy from one of the co-founders of that band was at the rally.
Hmm.
Um and I actually got to meet him and I got his email address and like I said, "Hey, can I like send my song to you? Like so you can like provide feedback on it?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So that was just cool because like this is a
Hmm.
person that I heard their music on the radio when I was like younger, like that was kind of
Yeah,
cool.
kind of a
Um
cool full circle kind of moment, a little bit.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it was just super good. Like I said, I was just getting incredibly lucky. Like I've worked hard, but like a lot of these things you just never know how they're going to land, right? Even if you really believe in your song or really believe in your craft, you don't know how it's going to be received by others. Um so it's just really cool for me. Made me feel like I'm on the right path. Like I still have a lot of work to do. Still have a long journey ahead of me to start making this a full-time gig, but it felt very much like, hey, Ethan, like you're on the right track, you know.
Yeah,
Um, so it was really good.
that is super exciting.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, for sure, that has to be very a good feeling, and I'm sure that that was reassuring. So,
Yeah. Yep. So it's just I don't know.
so go ahead.
I don't know. This is gonna sound cheesy. Oh man, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So my mentors, I don't know how much I've talked about on the podcast, but I have a few mentors that I pay.
Hmm.
One of them is like a music production coach that really focuses on helping me get better at mixing. And the other two coaches they're actually married and they like teach together.
Hmm.
Um, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. But they are like my music licensing coaches, like music and television coaches. So specifically more towards guiding me through that side of things. And your video just did a thumbs down. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Weird.
Uh, but they were there at the conference, so I got to see them again. And then after all this happened, like who more do I want to celebrate this with than the people that have been like helping me all along to get to this point? Because I've been mentoring with them for about a year now.
Hmm.
Um, and so I got to go to dinner with them and celebrate all this stuff with them and thank them for their mentorship. And then we had one of those moments where they're like, Ethan, we're proud of you. And it was just, so it was very cheesy, but very heartwarming too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've just been through the roof right now. Like I'm feeling very good about things. And again, I by no means am to my destination. I have a lot of work to do yet, but it was cool.
Yeah, you're on the right path. Oh, it did give us on thumbs down, didn't
There's
it?
a thumbs down again. I think it's your microphone. It thinks that you're doing a thumbs down. You don't like what I'm saying.
Hmm, that's weird. I did have something. So I was gonna ask. So you had all these exciting things happen. You said, you're mentioning you've got a lot of work to do. Would you say comes next now?
Fantastic question. I mean, I think next is a lot of follow up with the conference, right? Following up on those connections that I made, following up with that library that's interested in picking up my track. Um, a lot of those sorts of things. And then I think
Hmm.
it's a lot of it too is just not letting up, right? Like continuing to output music at the rate that I'm going and continuing like I'm starting to get into more libraries. I've actually so since we last talked, I have so since we last talked, I had one song in a library. But now I recently just got 3 songs added to, we'll call it library A. 3 songs like guaranteed to go into the library, right? Like I signed the contract just yesterday. So they're going in. So 3 more tracks in another library, a separate library. And then I recently, that library I talked about, we'll call it library B, the one that I met at the conference that's going to start having me write for stuff. So I don't have any music in there, but now the doors are opened for me to start writing for them, right? Like they've listened to my music. They know that it's the caliber that they want for their library. So pretty soon music's going to go in there. And there's another library, library C, that is also interested, that has opened the doors for me writing for them. So I've started getting brief requirements. Like they're called briefs, where it's just basically a list of requirements of what they need for songs, for albums. So they started sharing those with me. And, obviously you're saying we think that you have the caliber to be able to submit good music to us. So like things are starting to open up. So I feel like what's next is to start writing for those libraries a lot, like starting to really go from trying to get libraries to notice me to, which I'm going to continue to do, but starting to do a lot more of writing for those libraries that have already noticed. And that's probably really the next thing. It's just going to be a lot of continuing to write, work hard, and try to get as much music in libraries as possible, because the more music that's in libraries, the more chances that a television show sees it and then likes it and picks it up. So, very exciting. Like I said, it came out of left field. I've been working hard, but like again, you never know when opportunity is going to strike. Or
I wouldn't say it came out of left field. I think you're not giving yourself enough credit there.
well, you know what I mean. Like I wasn't expecting it. Like this is the thing that like people need to talk about a lot of, is like success. Like, and I wouldn't even call this the success that eventually I want to have, but like this is success, right? Like these are little successes and wins that happen that ultimately lead to the bigger successes. It doesn't happen overnight. It seems like it happens overnight, but like I have been freaking working at this for years. You know that. Like, and we both have, right? Like, and you just never know when those doors are going to start opening. And I felt like some of those doors started to open at this conference. So it's a really cool feeling.
For sure. That's really exciting. Did you have any other updates to share?
That's all I can think about right now.
Which episode is this again?
This is 54.
54. All right. Well, we have some exciting news coming from Blue Haven Music.
Woo!
I think the lesson of this update episode is that
stay the course.
Stay the course. Stay consistent, and those little small victories add up, and it's easy to lose sight of that sometimes. But yeah, stick with it.
And we can all do it. Just gotta stick with it. This is so cheesy.
We're going with all the cliches tonight. Anyway,
it's
I think
cliche
that's
because it's true. I'm making that a cliche, I swear.
That is cliche. All right. Well, with that, I think that's it for this episode. And until next time, stay tuned.